Hey Cameron, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about your motion, your mechanics, and just kind of talk a little bit about each step and sort of break it down frame by frame and go through. You know, the biggest thing for you is just to utilize more of that lower half. You know, the legs, the hips, that's where we're getting our power, that's where we're getting our velocity, especially as we get older. And so it's just a matter of not cutting yourself off and using them a little more, and we'll go through and talk a little bit about that. All right, so right off the bat, you know, we'll stop and sort of look at each thing here. So as you sort of start up on your motion, all right, everything's pretty solid setup. All right, you can see you get up here, get a nice solid position. All right, the one thing that we want to watch is watching your hands here, and then watch where the ball comes out, where your arm travels. All right, you can see that you drop down here. All right, so the way to make everything efficient, repeatable, is to sort of cut this distance down. So we want to try to cut this distance down. So the easiest way to do that is to just drop your hands. All right, so try to get to that point where, you know, you should be more around the center of your body, your chest, your belly button, and that'll just kind of cut that distance down to make it easier to time. All right, so you can see that as you get going forward, you know, it's just going to make it a little bit easier because you drop down there and get going. All right, you're doing a pretty good job at getting down the hill. The one thing that you can kind of watch and work on is sort of where this back leg is sort of preset, where everything's sort of wanting to go. All right, you can see how your foot's kind of, your heel's kind of pointing out towards the third base dugout here, and you're going to start seeing a bend in your leg back at this point here. You know, at this point we want to try to see sort of some pressure down with that knee. All right, so we want to try to feel it on the inside part of our ball of our foot. We want to try to feel that knee bending this way instead of, you know, here it's almost like it's kind of bending out this way. All right, so just kind of get that point and sort of preset that. You know, feel your knee already sort of turned in, preset, so that will get you going down the hill farther. All right, so then at your foot strike right here, all right, so once that front foot first hits the ground, which looks like it's about right here, we'll call it. You know, you can see it's not very far down the mound. You know, this knee still hasn't sort of turned down a little bit. It's still sort of straight right through here. But the biggest thing that shows us that you're not striding far enough is your knees over your ankle. All right, we want to try to see that knee behind your heel, you know, somewhere out here. So the ideal foot strike, and just want to make sure that you know that's pretty good up there. Upper body's pretty good. You're over that back leg. You know, now we want to try to see, you know, that heel up a little bit farther. There's going to be a little bit of bend in your knee that way. But the biggest thing, you know, is going to be, you know, your knee might still be around the same spot, but you're going to be, you know, probably out here, maybe a whole nother foot length of just legs, and again, that's just where all that power is coming from. That's where everything's you know, happening, and so you just got to try to get to that spot more, using more of that lower half to get everything rolling. You know, everything else is pretty solid. All right, the one thing that will help as you get farther down the mound, all right, I sort of mentioned that glove's good staying out here, but we need to try to keep it out here. All right, so we want to try to keep it out around over that front foot. And you can see as you sort of cue in here is that you sort of pull it back into your body, and so that causes you to release that ball right about, you know, somewhere between these two frames right here. All right, so you're releasing the ball right here. You're basically, you know, almost standing up. Your back foot's off the ground, but at this point we'd want to try to see back foot still on the ground, head and chest down over that front foot. All right, so it's just pitching, just all about using your body, using as much of that lower half to take strain off your arm. You know, the less you sort of use everything, the more strain is going to be put on this upper body, and you know you want to pitch a you know, a really long time. So just try to stay in that back leg more. At this point, again, back leg still straight, you know, head and chest down over that front foot. And so one thing that will help you with that glove is to keep that glove out over that front foot, and then just kind of think about rotating that elbow down along this axis so you're down here through your release instead of sort of pulling it back in, and that will keep everything out over this front foot. And now you're going to pick up release point. Now you might be releasing it back here. You're going to get more angle. It's going to jump on the hitter quicker. Your off speed is going to be a little bit sharper. But that'll be just the biggest thing for you is just striding down the mound more, keeping that front glove fixed down over that front foot. You got a good finish, but it's just late. You just want to try to get more of that early to get rolling. You're a big kid. Just make sure you're using that lower half. All right. But I mean, everything else is good. You got good posture. You got good balance. You're staying back as you're driving down the mound. Now just try to get everything going a little bit sooner, a little bit quicker. Stay closed longer, and just drive down that mound. Keep that glove out over that front foot, and just use that body. So as you get older, get that strength going. That velocity is going to come real easy. All right. And then just work on getting that glove down a little bit earlier initially to help sort of time everything up. But again, it's all pretty solid. Just that lower half key, and you're going to be good to go. So thanks for making it out to camp. Hope you had a great time. We look forward to seeing you again with ABC. Good luck this season.